But first, news today that thousands of Victorian victims of crime are being denied justice as the number of unsolved crimes in the state soars to nearly 300,000 in just 1 year. Now, that's the highest number ever on record. The latest data has revealed that almost half of all reported crimes over the past 12 months are unsolved. Here to talk us through the problem, but hopefully some solutions too, former Victorian homicide detective Charlie Bezzina. We were just talking, I'll tell my people at home off camera to say, Victoria feels broken. And Charlie, people are not even angry anymore. They're despondent. People are often in tears with me.
Yep.
They're all talking about leaving the state.
Yep.
They've even lost confidence that if there was a change of government, is it so far gone in terms of this crime crisis, like places like Johannesburg, could a good police chief and a good police minister and a brand new premier, could they even turn this around?
Not in the short term.
Yeah.
Because it's too far gone. And this has been a quarter of a century in the making, since 2000, I can tell you, when the Chief Commissioner then said we don't have gangs. They took the eye off the ball and it's gone stronger and stronger and stronger, no consequences. And look where we are today. We didn't have carjackings, home invasions. It's got more violent and we've become...
And they've got younger.
Exactly, because consequences again. We've become prisoners in our own state. Talk about COVID being locked up. We aren't locked up. At home, I've got my own steering lock. I'll put that on the car. I've just disconnected the power to my roller door. We are being bunkered into your own house because, you know what, the system's letting us down, driven by the government.
There's some comments to me made by someone else also connected with the whole crime backstory on 3AW, John Sylvester. Have a listen.
The new Chief Commissioner, Mike Bush, is coming out in a few weeks' time, and he said our ambitious plan is to cut the crime rate by 5%. Now, to do that, clearly it's going to be more patrols, more visible police presence in the hope that that will deter people from doing the crime. Well, that's going to be difficult because, you know, in the last month we've lost 100 police who've retired or resigned. That's 2,000 years experience that have gone.
Wow.
And when you're trying to drag people out of 9-to-5 jobs and say you're going to go back on the van, some of them will also say, no, that's not for me, and quit.
Not just that we've lost 100 recently, but we're down 2,000 frontline officers in Victoria. And we know there was a big drive out of Queensland to recruit our police, saying, come up, you know, join the police force in Queensland. We are tough on crime. Bracket, your premier's not. And they exodus, right? A lot have gone to Queensland. Is that part of the problem too? Frontline police have lost faith. They lock the person up. It's just cycled out and get on the street the next day.
They're just treading water. That's all the frontline police. And you do get despondent. All the work that they do. And that then fuels the unsolved cases in relation to it. It's like America. I remember in New York many years ago, and that was turned around by Giuliano, of saying that if they can't solve a job in 24 hours, bang, next job, next job. Now, where we are at the moment, the whole system is loading up the frontline police. They've only got so much time that they can attend, and it's prioritised. Family violence takes up 6 or 7 hours of a shift, so forth and so on. The incumbents upon doing paperwork, even though Bush has said he's going to try and streamline that with a new computer system, to be able to solve a big call, said he's going to reduce crime by 5%. He hasn't got the tools. It's top heavy at the wrong end. And I can tell you there's 2,500 people in corporate at Spencer Street, sworn officers, doing work there. Now, that's top heavy there. They should be loaded up, take the sworn officers. I know what John said about, well, they will then leave. Well, too bad. You're a sworn officer. Part of the solution is you and now take your pick, Dandenong, Broadmeadow, Sunshine, wherever you want to go. You need to do that, give the front line respite, and then top heavy them up and say, OK, now the unsworns will then get them loaded up and don't load up the frontline police. Support them as best you can. But I think Bush has certainly got his hands full in relation to try and turn things around.
Can't they use unsworn people to do the grunt of the paperwork? The sworn officer then comes in, reads the report of the theft he might have been at yesterday or the home invasion, signs it off as accurate, and then gets back out on the road. That
is absolutely prime, because they're doing running sheets. The detectives do diaries, whatever the case may be. The police of today become statisticians.
Absolutely. I've seen it firsthand when I've interacted with the police. They've come and looked at a theft, or they've you know, visited my premises where I live, and dealt with an issue, but they're so loaded down in paperwork.
Yep.
You know, it's very hard even to get them on the phone to come back. Just quickly, I've got to ask you, we've got a biological male convicted of a sex offence against his daughter. He is a pedophile. The little girl is 5 years of age. She was sexually abused. He is in a women's prison in Victoria. Do you think women in that prison are safe?
Look, with this particular case, and I understand he's been psychologically assessed and that type of thing, look, I think they are safe because you've got the likes of, say, Erin Patterson, for example. Now, she's been put in isolation for her own safety and they're assessing it. Now, the prison authorities, they've got a duty of care to look after their prisoners. What do? You've got this particular person who's saying, I'm now a female, and then I think there's others in the system.
Well, there's known to be 7. We don't know if there are 7 currently. Right. But given what we know usually happens to pedophiles when they're in a male prison, there's a bit of rough justice, particularly if they've abused children. Surely, you know, a lot of pedophiles are going to take this course of action. In Victoria, you can say you're a woman the next day and you are a woman as far as Jacinta Allen's concerned. Why wouldn't they say that as a matter of course to get into a women's prison?
Yeah, well, they can. And then they've got to start... I think this has come upon them, but they haven't got a policy in place. You know, our pedophiles, police, priests, all get set up to our rat. That's a protective prison there. Maybe we should be looking at something like that to say, you know what, you're a particular gender that you claim you are, but you're a biological male. How is that fair to the women in relation to it? And I know there's a lot been said with Maura Deeming and the likes in the group that she's involved in, and I don't disagree with them because you would be uncomfortable in relation to it. But I think they are safe, but they are assessed quite significantly by the courts.
And just quickly, that sentence, 2.5 years, what do you make of that?
Well, I think it's weak, especially when here you have an individual that's abused his 5-year-old daughter. We've got to start turning things around. You look at the figures of how our crime's increased. And I put an example last week. I said, next Saturday at the grand final, go and stand in the middle of the MCG and look around 100,000+. Everyone is a victim of crime. You've got to start humanising it. They're not just figures because there's a flow-on effect from their mental anguish, the economy, insurance, the hospitals, and it flows on. So it's a bigger thing than just having crime. And the disgusting other issue, this government come out and they say, we've given the police the resources that they need. We've got more police on the beat than any other state. Absolute nonsense. Don't treat us like we're idiots. We know 17,000 sworn police officers in New South Wales. We've got 16,000. What are they smoking in Spring Street?
Yeah, I know. I can feel your frustration. I can feel your frustration, Charlie. I think
whole community, not
the
just
community
me.
feels it very much.